Veteran Salute, sponsored by DeVaughn James Injury Lawyers.
Wednesday nights are time for our weekly segment, Veteran Salute. It's our chance to honor heroes from our area and thank them for their service.
Tonight, 27 News reporter Matthew Johnstone introduces us to Navy veteran Denny Donahue.
Originally growing up in Onaga, Kansas, Navy Commander Denny Donahue would fly over 200 combat missions around the world, keeping pilots and fellow crew members safe from enemy detection. Near the end of his time in college, Denny was shown an opportunity he couldn't pass up.
I was in my senior year at Washburn, and this friendly Navy recruiter named Fred Blakely told me that even four-eyed guys could fly in Navy jets. And then he took me to Olathe, took me up for an awesome flight doing acrobatics, and I asked, where do I sign?
Stationed in Japan for 3 years of duty, Denny would fly 263 combat missions in the Gulf of Tonkin.
I served as a naval flight officer, sitting in the right front seat and doing those duties that were not performed by the naval aviator pilot who was in the left seat, who actually landed the airplane aboard the carrier.
Flying all over the world, his assignment was to keep the plane from getting too close to enemy radar sites.
Every other 2 months, I was deployed to the Gulf of Tonkin, flying electronic reconnaissance missions in that airplane, and I would spend 2 months down in that Vietnam environment.
Those 2 months outside of that Vietnam environment were no vacation, though.
We would fly electronic reconnaissance missions along the coast of Russia, China, and North Korea.
Nowadays, equipment on board military aircraft can detect when the plane is being picked up by enemy forces and shot at by missiles in a way that's understandable and safe for single pilots. That wasn't always the case, though.
At the beginning of our Vietnam conflict, our attack airplane and fighter aircraft didn't have those instruments. They relied on verbal warnings from myself and what other aircraft were out there. I've actually had the experience of going back aboard the carrier and having A7 or A6 pilots say, "Who was that deep sea aircraft out there?" "Well, you saved my bacon." And so it was a very rewarding experience.
Denny stays active in service to this day as part of the Veterans of Foreign Wars group in Onaga. The unit presents colors for service member burial ceremonies and on Memorial Day as a way to recognize the friends they've had and give back to those who've served. Working for you, Matthew Johnstone, 27 News.
We highlight veterans in our community every week, just like Gerald. And if you know someone that we should feature in this segment, please check the Veteran Salute section at KSNT.com. And again, the man's name should be Denny.
Plus, sharing their story isn't the only way we honor these heroes, because each week the featured vet receives a gift. Take a look.
The DeVaughn James Injury Lawyers here with our Veteran of the Week, and that's Navy Commander Denny Donahue, who flew 263 flight missions over Vietnam. On behalf of all of Kansas, thank you so much for your service.
Thank you for sponsoring this, and we should mention all the guys that didn't come home at some point.
That's right.
Thanks again.
Veteran Salute, sponsored by DeVaughn James Injury Lawyers.